I went, ooh, you naughty boy. You naughty boy, Zayden.
Yeah, see, I can't.
Like...
No, I'm literally obsessed.
Hey,
Hey,
besties.
besties.
Welcome to
Literally Obsessed.
It's Cassie.
And Brittany.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Onyx Storm, episode 5. Sorry.
Okay.
Blew out the mic 2 seconds in. Hope you guys are having a great day. Welcome back to the Empyrean
Welcome.
Series. Very exciting episode. Almost did your thing.
Dude.
We haven't
Year
done that
later.
yet.
I know. Knock on wood.
But today we'll be covering chapters 14 through 17. Super excited. Kind of a silly amount of things happening in these chapters.
Yeah, I would say so.
A little silly.
Yeah.
Little silly moments. It's storming over here, guys. How's your weather? How's the weather
It's
for
a
you?
literal storm outside.
Literal storm. But anyways, let's give our friendly little reminders. We have our Patreon. We have the book besties and the books club. You guys can check that out, as well as our newsletter. We didn't have one for the month of March. We're so sorry.
Yeah, your girls are overwhelmed.
Overworked. We
Underpaid.
We had a lot going on
Yeah.
this beginning of the month. Still kind of have a lot going on
Yes.
at this moment.
It's true.
But we weren't able to do it for March, so we're so sorry, but we will get back on track in April, we promise. But the newsletter, if you don't know, it's at the beginning of the month. We will send out kind of like a update as to what's going on in the podcast or what Brittany and I are reading, or all the kind of fun stuff. And you can find the information for our merch too in the description for wherever you're listening to this.
Perfect. And for our content and spoiler warning, as you guys know, if you've listened to us before, we are covering all of Onyx Storm. So even though we are just mainly focusing on these chapters, we're talking about everything, every interview, theories, all of that. And spoiler warning, this is a rated R podcast due to cussing and smut. So
Smut. I like the way you said that.
well, let's get into our spill the tea.
Okay.
Start us off.
Start
Cassandra.
off. Government name.
Yeah.
Love it.
You like Andra, right?
I do like
Andra.
Andra.
Okay.
I do like Andra. When I
Yeah.
hear an Andra, I'm like, ooh, who's her?
Who's
Who's
I just
she?
feel like I'm lazy, so Cassandra is easier than Cassandra,
That's fair.
which doesn't make any sense.
I don't know,
but-
because my mom always told me it's Andra. She's like, specifically,
You're
it's
like,
I made
Roger
you
that.
Andra. I go,
Yeah.
got it, mom. Got it.
I made you Andra.
I got it. Okay,
All right.
Cassandra's going.
Let's hear
Chapter 14 starts off as Xaden and Violet being very unhappy that they can no longer be in the relationship like they have been, him being a professor and all. Violet goes to ask Dane if he could secretly get her father's letters that were left in her parents' room. The only people allowed in those rooms are the people who share blood with the person who's in them, so of course it's Dane's dad, and Dane needs to go grab them. Their conversation is interrupted by Kaori and Xaden, who tries to pull Violet aside, but she refuses so they don't get in trouble according to the Codex law. Also, Dane makes a small remark about Xaden's choosing of his new role, which is very funny. Xaden asks General Atos for an exemption for his and Violet's relationship, which obviously gets denied. A wild meeting happens, and Xaden is just arguing with every person, especially Grady, with his recommendations for squads that will be in charge for finding the 7th breed. This gets us kind of nowhere. Violet returns to her room, escorted and separated by her hot boyfriend, Rip. Going into chapter 15, Violet is attending Professor Riorson's signet sparring, and It's So Wild brings us back to the Fourth Wing days. Some writers start to question why Xaden is in charge if he only graduated a year ago, which only pisses him off and proves that he is strong and capable. After a fun montage moment of everyone showing off their signets and how to use them to an advantage, it's Violet's turn to spar with the professor.
Chapter 16. Xaden quickly uses his shadows to black out the mat so Violet can't see anything, and then he taunts her and even gives her a steamy kiss in the darkness before reminding her that she needs to be able to find him for both of their sakes, since she is the only one capable of killing him. But we are finally in Shantara, people. So this is a big deal for us. The gang is all hanging out at a pub and discuss class and the cadets who haven't wielded signets yet, such as Arik. Something to keep in mind there. We learn that Rhee's family has taken in Marin's brothers in Erasia and are keeping them safe. So sweet. And the cadets discuss their gods and their temples, and we learn a little bit of insight into who they all worship. Dane also shows up and lets Violet know that she has to trust him to retrieve the research on his own. Even though Violet is skeptical, she realizes her fate is in Dane's hands, whether she likes it or not. Chapter 17. The chapter opens up with a heartfelt letter from Asher to Violet about how his time is running out to correctly prepare her and that she shouldn't trust anyone. We learn that a lot more people from the active service are dying every day, and Sloane pulls Violet aside to let her know that she has archive duty, so she passes off a bag from Jacinia. Sloane apologizes for siphoning Lilith for the Wardstone and finally believes Violet that they are all good. We also learn that our favorite enemies to lovers, Dane, pulled off the steal of a century and slipped Asher's research into the bag. Violet opens up the research to unfortunately find out that Asher left behind a few riddles for her to figure out. Then we are in Signet training again, and the squad decides to team up together on the mat. Violet finally shows us that she does, to some degree, know how to handle her Signet.
Thank
LOL.
God.
Thank God. This moment is interrupted, though, by none other than Prince Halden. Ew. And we learn that he cheated on Violet with the professor. What the fuck?
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Halden has read Violet's letters from Viscount Takaris, but he is willing to convince Grady to change course if Violet is willing to retrieve the Emilian citrine, which is a lesser magic amplifier. And I have a lot of questions about that. Halden is an arrogant prick, but literally helps us solve the riddle that Violet's dad left for her. Did not see that one coming. And as Halden starts to get a little too flirty, Xaden literally blasts him into a rock wall.
Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
As y'all know.
A lot of stuff happened.
Crazy stuff happened.
Yeah.
A lot of good Xaden moments in these.
Yes,
Thank
we
God.
are finally like starting to get into like the meat of the book.
1000%.
So,
And then like I kind of read ahead. We get like straight into it.
I was looking at my highlights and I was like, I'm so excited because now
Me
we can
too.
really start like theorizing and getting into the stuff I want to talk
We're
about.
getting into the aisles.
Yep.
Okay. Before we continue, I'm sorry if you are watching this, I keep looking over. We do have a live studio audience here. She can't hear us, or she doesn't know what's happening, but it's Shay. So if you hear this, Shay,
Hi.
I'm looking at you right now.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry.
You're
if I
not
keep
looking at her,
over.
but she's looking at you.
I had to watch her today.
Crazy.
I hate that. So sorry if you see me, but shout out Shay. She's here. Our first live audience.
Our first live guest.
I was like, we have to get used to this, because what if we have a crew one day
You're right.
and people are going to watch us?
You're right. I know.
We're going to be in the studio, babes.
We're
You guys wait.
We're working our way up there.
Just you guys wait. Okay, so let's go into our deep dive.
Okay, deal.
14.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm forgetting some of these things I wrote a couple days ago, so I'm forgetting. Okay, Violet is just so thirsty for Xaden.
So thirsty.
Her saying that she has to clutch her pack so she doesn't reach for him. Like, girl, be for
She's
real.
like, I'm gonna clutch my pearls. I
But
cannot reach for him.
I do get it. But it's just kind of dramatic. It's like, you guys have been together for a while.
Yeah.
The honeymoon phase should have worn off by now. But like her being like, I have to clutch my backpack so I don't reach for him. It's like kind of ridiculous.
I know I said like in the little spill the tea that it's giving Fourth Wing. I think this whole like series of chapters was giving Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
Because it's like they were separated. They're not able to. They're now again back to not being able to be together.
It is the way. There's a couple times where it's like they're not together for like 2 days, and they're like, 2 days without you has been torture.
Dude,
and I'm like,
okay,
guys,
I think I have something about that, because they're like not banter, but they're the things they were saying.
it's a little crazy.
I was like, guys, it's been 4 days, and you guys used to go like weeks without seeing each other. Like, we can handle this, babes. We're stronger now.
We can get
We're
through this.
stronger now. But you're right. She was so thirsty. She's
Yeah.
like, but I get it, because if my boyfriend just got upgraded to professor,
I get it.
I'd be like, damn.
Hot. Yeah.
Like, dang.
I get it.
I get it, babes.
Okay. Also, I think you're gonna love this. Fueling the fire a little bit. Because we know that we have this theory. Maybe Bodhi is like in love with Violet, right?
That's my favorite theory.
So him asking if they broke up when people are like, oh, he's a professor or whatever. And then he goes, wait, you guys broke up? Violet says yes. Xaden says no. They say it at the same time. But it says that Xaden glares at Bodhi. What's that about?
He's like, don't take my bitch.
No,
we're together.
Literally.
We're locked in for
and it's
life.
like, this could just be a little thing. Xaden loves to glare. I feel like I just have to tell you, if I'm coming back in at a weird point, we just got Labubu.
Labubus are in the building, babes.
Labubus are in the building.
I repeat, the Labubus are
I'll
here.
show for, if you guys are watching on like live on TV right now, there she is. So sorry, that was the BF coming in with Labubus that he just got.
Shay and I she's in town, as you may know now, listening. We went to long story short, we went to a boba shop.
That we go to all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
And they had a whole box of Labubus. And if you don't know what a Labubu is, look it up on TikTok. You'll know. Yeah. But they're very sought out for and very rare to find now.
I was kind of against them, but now
you got to go in with the crowd. And they're also kind of cute.
I love a good trend. Yeah, they are cute.
And they're blind boxes. Everyone loves a blind box.
I love a blind box. So.
And we saw them before I came over here for filming. And I was like, Brittany, got a Labubu. So she sent her boyfriend to go get her and our other mutual friend a Labubu. So
thank you to our production manager.
Thank you so much, John, for making magic. Peace and love.
So sorry if I'm coming back in at a weird point. What I was saying as he was walking in was Xaden does love to glare at people.
He does.
So
1000%.
Like maybe I'm overanalyzing, but him glaring at his cousin, I don't know. And then him just being like, no.
It's like, we are still together.
Okay.
Got it. Also, like, I'm pretty sure he meant that, like, Bodhi is smart. Even if he was saying, like, so wait, you guys are broken up? He kind of will probably know you guys aren't, but, like.
It was almost like it was to stir the pot a little bit. And
I agree.
I do think he likes to piss off Xaden,
100%.
which I get it. It's your cousin, so you want to kind of, like, I would argue they're more like brothers, but even still, it's like you want to piss the other person off.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I was like, why would you even ask that?
It's so funny. He loves to stir the pot.
He loves to stir the pot. Him and Riddick.
He's like, you're broken up, Violet? Are you free, Violet?
Ew. Why did you do that? Like an anime kid.
Violet?
I hated
You're
that.
single, right?
Did not like that at all. Let's move on.
Okay, but I love that theory, guys. You guys know that I'm on board with that. Bodhi is in love. Or at least just, like, is yearning for something like that.
Poor boy.
Okay. I want to say I love Dane's confidence and being, like, kind of, like, poking back at Xaden. I feel like we've seen over the past couple of books, like, Xaden just always gets the upper hand, which he still kind of does. But it's cool to see, like, their dynamic change. And the fact that Dane's like, well, like, I didn't choose this role. You did. So this is your problem.
I did love that.
And I was like, okay, I mean, he's got a point. I know Xaden, I don't know if he had much control as to from what he's told us.
Right.
But it's right. Like, buddy, this is what's going to happen. And you knew that, babes.
Yeah.
But so funny.
Okay. Violet saying that they live by the codex and Xaden saying I live by you.
Find men who yearn. Guys, bring back men who yearn. Bring back men who yearn. I'm telling you, boys, if you want to get a girl, you gotta yearn. What can I say? Bring back yearning.
It's true.
I live by you is such a crazy thing to say.
I know. I like don't even have anything to say about it. I just had to bring it up.
It warms my insides like soup. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me so happy.
I just love him. I think we'll get there when I get there, but we'll come back to this point.
Okay. Xaden being like, this is literally when she's like, oh, well, like, dang it. Now I'm upset. Like, we can't be together. And he's like, nothing changes. And then she notes something that he has like this look in his eye. And he goes, we just do what we're best at. Sneak around. I went, ooh, you naughty boy. You naughty boy, Xaden.
Yeah, see, I can't.
Like, I don't know, like, he was crazy for that, right?
A little bit. I don't know, that's the Xaden we know and love. I don't know what was too crazy about it.
Around. Like, okay, period.
Sometimes the way that we interpret lines is very different. Because to me, it was just like, we do what we do best, sneak around.
Oh, I thought he was sensual when he was
But
saying it.
maybe everything he does is sensual. Let's
Yeah.
be for real. So
He's zaddy.
he's zaddy.
He's zaddy.
so.
What can I say?
Okay. Xaden saying that he does not remember reaching for the source is scary.
Scary.
And I
What does
question,
that mean?
well, what does that mean? And also, like, how do you tell the difference then between that and your dragon? How scary is it, right?
Ooh.
Like, what if you just don't know that you channeled from the earth? You know what I mean?
No, I feel like, okay, because when he lost his shit with the bed frame,
That's right.
he felt that, right?
I think so.
Or did he just know? I can't remember.
Well, yes, I think so, because it was like a very slight
Yeah.
thing.
Slight take.
Yeah.
I would imagine it would just be like a strain, maybe. But the fact that he can't, like,
I just have to comment that it's so the man can't orgasm with without channeling from the earth. You know what I mean? Did we take a minute to like think about that?
This is the first time I'm processing that.
poor guy. Do you know what I mean? No wonder he's so frustrated.
Oh my god, he's sexually charged with like
yeah.
emotion.
Yeah. Hasn't had release in like weeks. I just want to know why. Why does that entice him to pull from the earth?
I'm not gonna go crazy, but he could work out. Maybe that would release some like endorphins, maybe.
Okay.
So he's like lessening the, hate to say blow,
right.
but that's the only word that comes to mind.
Right.
So it's like him not recognizing that.
Right.
Babes, we should pay attention to our feelings and like how we're feeling in those moments.
I just think it's funny. I guess it's like maybe because like heightened emotions will lead to like their signets. Because obviously, which we know from Violet, she can't control herself.
None of them can.
None of them can, apparently. I just think it's funny that like he can't
finish without
with
channeling.
It's just kind of funny. That's all.
I wonder if other Venons have those same issues. Like they go to like a Venon support group. They're like
Venon's Anonymous.
Venon's Anonymous. They're like, what do you guys do like in your
like
sexual
Rebecca,
relationship?
answer the questions.
Do they all have to channel?
I've also gotta know.
Just asking.
Well, now I'm just here. I'm like, okay, Sawyer with like his metal, like Riddick.
Right.
When he hooks up, does he just shoot ice?
He's like Elsa. He's like Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Imagine it just starts snowing.
Oh my, that's beautiful.
That would be
That's
so
kinda
beautiful.
So now I'm just curious.
But
is
only
it just,
when he finishes.
That's
Weird.
what I'm saying. Is it just them who like can't, or is it because of the bond?
I mean,
Like,
to be
now
fair,
this is
though,
opening up a whole can.
honestly, wait. Violet does the same thing with lightning.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I think it's
You're
because
right.
of the heightened emotions. But now I have never thought of anybody else.
Rhiannon, what is she grabbing from other rooms?
That's what I'm. Yeah. Oh, sorry. So sorry. That was so loud.
That sounded like a sound effect.
Should I clip it?
Yeah, I think you should because it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
She's like, she does it and then she like gets an apple from a different room.
Oh my gosh.
She's
yeah.
like, oh, thank
Things
you.
are just flying at you.
I wanted to after snack.
Yeah. I'm just really curious.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that another time, Rebecca.
Deal. Okay.
Let's have a meeting.
Sorry. What else were you saying? I cut you off because I just.
No, I don't remember. Sorry.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, moving on then.
Yes.
Okay, I just thought this was a funny little moment. Jacinia is writing everything down in the meeting, like transcribing it for them. She's literally writing the story that we're reading.
Oh, absolutely.
How funny is that?
It's
And she says she's doing it with a little smirk.
she's like
She's like, la la la, this is about to be the best. This is about to be a New York Times bestseller.
for a couple weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I do love those moments because I feel like we sometimes forget that Jacinia writes these or like transcribes them. But what a cute moment. Thanks, girl.
Yeah.
Thanks, Miss Rebex. Okay. Xaden getting like hot and ready in this meeting just adds to their like horniness level.
Yeah,
like,
Xaden is always hot and ready.
He's
Call
so-
him Domino's.
Pizza Hut?
Pizza Hut. Sure.
Which one?
I don't think any of them. Little Caesar.
Little Caesars. Pizza.
Call him Little Caesar.
Call him Little Caesar because he'd be hot and ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Little
Put
zaddy.
a little olive branch in his hair for me.
Oh my god, someone please make that. Please make that fan art.
It's like in a toga.
He's like, no, he was so hot and ready in this meeting specifically.
Yeah, he was.
And this is like a very like already heated conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, no, why would we do it this way? And then he's like sending her a signal. He's like, yeah, the things I would do to you right now. And she's feeding into it.
Yeah, of course she is.
As she always is, but
There's moments I'm like, I don't know how my brain could handle it, where he's like talking but thinking something different to her. Like, what?
I said something
hell?
like in the next chapter or something just like that, where I guess I could just say it now. It's like he's talking to her. Mm-hmm. He's talking out loud. I think it was in the moment where he's doing the sparring class.
Yes.
He's talking to Violet. He's instructing a class. He's also reading other people's minds.
Yes. How does he do it?
There's like 17 things he's doing at once.
Yeah.
Babes, how do you do that? That's multitasking.
I feel like there's a show or something I'm thinking of where it's like they turn into like the same person, and then their brains, shoot, what am I thinking of?
The Substance?
No, but that's close. It was like a Disney Channel show or something. It's like you can, like, their brains are like battling to who's the one that's like speaking or something.
Was it Wizards of Waverly Place?
Yes.
When Alex,
Thank you so much.
When Alex duplicates herself?
Yes. And then she's like, ow, Harper, my, like,
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
She like has both of them in her brain. Yeah.
Oh my god, that like unlocks a whole memory.
Wow. Thank you for catching on.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Where do I
and
know
then
that
she's
from?
like, ow, like I could see out of your eye, or like,
yeah, that's right.
It's
that's
giving
right.
that.
Dude, can you imagine like having to go through like, how does he even focus on anything?
That's what I'm saying.
He's like bricked up, talking to Violet.
Yeah.
He's trying to teach, and he's also reading people's minds.
And he's hot. It's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job, babes.
Oh, okay. So, on a serious note, Xaden, we're getting into those moments where I'm like, he starts to do weird things that I wish she questioned more. So he threatens them, and it says, quote, and I will tell you when I end the quote, because yeah. So, quote, "The hair raises on the back of my neck. There's a flash of something, ... cold in his eyes, but it's gone within a single blink. Huh." End quote. What the fuck? And then she doesn't question it. Like,
okay.
Even she thinks that's weird.
It is really strange. And like, again, adding to the jar of things of Violet being stupid, low-key, or like not pinning them as a priority. What I was realizing when I saw you write that was sometimes I have to step out of it and go, is she talking just specifically on the pupil or the eye, or is it the expression of the eye? Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I can see you have like brown eyes,
right,
but also the expression of like, is your eye like, I know sometimes they'll be like, he like squints his eyes, or he his eyes are open, or I have to like step out. And so when she's meaning cold, is it like a blank stare, or is it just like a wash, like a,
that's kind of what I'm
discoloring or something?
I think it's like, yeah, I
What
guess
do we
it would say
think?
more of an expression, but like where, I don't know, the eyes are the windows to the soul.
Why they're windows to the soul, and they're very expressive.
You know, it would be more of like a, like she can just see a coldness in him, or like a darkness in him, I guess.
Yeah, which is very interesting. So I was like, in that moment, I was like, maybe I should start paying attention to how she's explaining.
I have another one later on too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
because I tried to highlight every single one that I could find.
Well, you're better than her.
Thank you.
Sorry,
that was also loud.
No, I'm just sniffled at the same time. Is your allergies bad too?
Yeah, they're so bad.
They're
today.
so bad, right?
So super windy today. Y'all were in
windy.
SoCal.
Y'all
Super
know that?
windy, rainy.
The weather's been stupid.
I was literally sniffly for like the past 2 days.
I know, and it's like, oh, the sinus is like killing me.
This is the weather you get sick in. So
love it.
okay. So this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier when Xaden said this cute, like, oh, I live by you, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm irritated, along with a lot of other people on TikTok. So this is not just a me thing, at Xaden saying same in response to things.
Yes.
Like Violet's like, I miss your hands. And he goes, same. That's all you got, bud?
Yeah.
And also, what does that even mean?
Like, same as in you agree, or you also see it? No, it's like, I don't understand what your interpretation of that is, Zayden.
There was another moment, I think it's in Fourth Wing or Iron Flame, because she says something like I'm in love with you, and he's just like, same.
Like, fuck,
it's like
dude, give us nothing.
Yeah, and I just feel like it happens a couple times, and people are just kind of like, what is this? And also, he's so good with words. Where does this come from?
Maybe
he's just sick of it.
Maybe he's just, again, this is, sometimes he's checking out and focusing on his reading people's intentions. And
so fair.
Maybe. But he does like to choose when he's expressive and when he's not.
Yeah, I guess just in moments like these where she's very like, oh, like, I love blah, 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 blah. And then he's just like, same.
He's like, yeah, babe.
Like, okay.
Deuces. Like,
he is
ditto.
a stupid boy at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, he's still a mid-20s dude.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to things that Rebecca does that irritate me.
Yeah.
Rebecca, honey, enough with the sarcastic thumbs up.
No,
I beg of you.
It's giving Friends.
It's
giving sitcom, babes.
It's just enough. Enough. I'm sick of it.
We do not need to do that. Just go thumbs up.
Just like, matter of fact, I will interpret what the characters do.
Right.
You don't always have to lay it out for me.
At the end of the day, we're reading a Disney Channel we're reading a DCOM.
We really are.
In the mythical world.
Sometimes it just irritates me. I'm sorry.
You know, okay, something that, because I've been kind of on my good reading kick. You guys would be so proud of me.
She has been doing good.
I've been doing really good.
Yeah.
I've just been really into it. It's been really nice. And as always, but anyways, I've noticed a lot of different like writers, and I'm currently reading a lot of Emily Henry, and there are some, I love her books just straight up, but there are some things that she'll say that's like, we sometimes don't need that explanation.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing in like fantasy books especially, is like, and then, you know, I gave him a smirk, or like, it was a sarcastic smirk. Of course it was. And I'm like, okay, what is this commentary? We don't need the commentary, babes. I can interpret just fine. But there was something in Emily Henry book that I saw, and I highlighted to go, okay.
Girl.
Oh, I think it was like them, it was another thing of them talking about condoms and stuff. I go, why do we gotta always talk about the shit?
You always gotta talk about it.
Contraceptives. I mean, practice safe sex. I get it. But I don't know. Some things I'm just like, it takes it out of the moment. Babes.
Yeah.
Especially ready? Let's do it on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Should I make that the thumbnail?
We should do that for the thumbnail. It's gonna be so funny. We're gonna do it.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Okay. We kind of need to talk about, I wrote this note very vague.
Oh, I see it.
The mentions of Xaden's swords in his back were mentioned again during chapter 15. The theory, we've talked about this before, question mark?
Yes, that he is like maybe a physical representation of Dune.
And just wanted to note that it did happen in this chapter.
It did.
That's all I want to say. Because I don't, where were they doing? What were they doing?
I think she just mentions he has two swords on his back.
Okay.
And he kind of mentions it too. Like, I have 2 swords, I have 3 daggers. and a big and the best weapon of them all.
He's like, I got 3 daggers, 2 swords, and a big dick. He would walk into the building like that, and then Riddick would be like, show us that last one, Professor.
Can you show us how to use that last weapon?
Oh shit, you're right though. He would do that shit.
He would.
Okay, another moment, literally seconds after Brittany just said the whole same thing that Xaden does. He says this again, of him just saying same when they finally see each other after 4 days. She goes like, I miss your...
I think it was that. I miss your hands.
Did she do it again? Because you're right. I went back to 14,
maybe
read it,
and
then he said it for 14. I think he said, she said, I missed you. He says she says again, I missed your hands.
Okay.
Same conversation.
Well, and I think that there was one moment where it was reversed and he says something and Violet says same. And I was like, both of y'all.
Knock it off.
Knock it off.
Whatever happened to being expressive. So just wanted to note that they have that issue. Oh, and then I wrote the the thing about reading minds and also speaking loudly. Too many things. Oops, so sorry. Okay. This makes me want to go back and reread Fourth Wing, even though I knew this happened. But I do want to go reread these. Xaden confessing that he used to his advantage when he would spar with her and get her angry.
Well, because he knew she liked it. He knew it turned her on a little bit. So, like, he's right. The scene, all I can think of is the scene where him and Garrick were shirtless. He could read her intentions, so obviously he knew. But he was like, wah, 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 wah.
He's like, bow, bow,
jump
bow,
on it.
Right. And he's like staring directly at her.
He's like in the pony. Imagine him hyping himself up in his room. He's like, okay. He's like,
you know, like when bodybuilders, they're like,
yeah. He's like,
shit.
Hey, Violet.
He's like, hey, Violence.
Violence.
He's like, how not that stupid, dude. No, don't do that. He's like, no, she's not gonna like me like that, dude.
Yeah,
I was like, just love the confession that he told us what we already knew.
Yeah,
it's so funny. Okay, and then my last thing before. I love your note. I love it. One of my favorite moments, I'm not gonna lie, in the book, and I wrote this in my highlights on my Kindle. It's Riddick, and this is after he just like really showed off. Xaden, he showed off and he was going crazy. He goes, I'm either completely in love with your boyfriend or utterly terrified of him. Not sure at the moment. And then Kat says, both. You can be both. Trust me. Which then leads into yours.
I said, okay, Traeger.
Literally. Because that's what Violet says too.
Because he says he shoots his shot, and I have to respect it.
Yeah, absolutely.
R.I.P. He makes me so sad.
I'm so sad.
He says, you should stop wasting your time on like people who don't want you when there are people who do. If somebody said that to me, like, oh my god, I'd be like, sold.
I'd be like, we're in love.
Xaden who? You know what I mean?
Don't know him.
You're
mine.
Yeah.
That's a confessional. I love you.
Yeah.
I would have rather that than an I love you.
Like, he really shot his shot. He shot his shot. Yeah.
He shot it up.
Whoa. No.
Cancel that.
But that was a hook, line, sinker.
You're right. No, but it was just funny. Riddick also said, I have another thing about what he says, but
I actually have a comment on that cat thing a little bit later because something else similar happens.
Okay. Cool. Chapter 16. Like, thankfully, we know now a lot about the shadows, or we're starting to get more. We still had the question a couple episodes about like if it feels like someone actually touches you,
right?
Or if it's like a mist or an air or just like something. But she says that his shadows caress her face again. Just another sensual moment. Love it.
So going off that, I'm very curious how awkward this is for every other cadet in the building.
Like every time that they interact,
well,
it's always with people around.
Yes, and just so imagine he blacks out the mat. So I'm literally imagining like a black mass, like you can't even see in front of you. So imagine that students are like,
it's silent.
What's going on? Yeah, it's silent.
They're talking in their minds, and all you hear is like, mwah, mwah, mwah. Oh, Xaden, I love you. And all the students are like, Can we be excused?
How
is
awkward.
This a part of the lesson?
So fucking awkward.
Dude, I would love to see we got like Imogen and Rhiannon's POV.
I want a random student's
POV being like, dude, went to class today and like he started macking on a student.
Literally, it's crazy.
The fuck? Okay, I gotta say it like I wrote it. When his shadows hold her and he tilts her chin and he says, only you? And then kisses her? And then tells her to strike? Oh my god. Like, my god.
Yeah.
Tells her to, he's like kissing her. He's like, strike.
That also was another moment where a lot was going on. He was kissing her. He was doing stuff with his shadows. He was coaching her.
Feeling her up. He was telling her to strike.
Him sticking his hands in her waistband a little too far. Xaden.
Dude, we're in class.
We're literally in class.
In
like,
front of
too
people.
far. Imagine he slips for one moment, the shadows fall away. Like
He's like, oh,
you're caught red-handed, bud.
caught red-handed, babes.
Okay, so actually, follow-up question. Do we think Xaden has night vision?
He's a cat
Well,
or a dog.
I'm just curious. Is it because they're his shadows, he knows his way around? Or like, how was he so easily able to find her? Can he see in the dark?
I think it's confirmed. I would like to think that.
I'm just curious. He was able to find her mouth so easily. He was like kissing her neck.
He's got just X-ray
He was
vision.
like moving around so quick, you know?
He was kind of like a little snake.
So it just, yeah.
That, or he just knows how to sense.
That's the other thing.
10th sense.
And that also makes sense.
Sense for the sense.
Could be either.
Could be either.
Let us know your thoughts.
What do you guys think?
Okay, so do we think at this moment in time, chapter 16, Xaden is already preparing to leave, and that is why he is training Violet how to find him, because he says that she has to know how to sense him. Just a thought.
I got like a bob.
She's drinking her boba right now.
Way too many boba balls in my mouth.
Just a thought. I think it might, I'll speak while she chews. I think it could also be, obviously he's training her to kill him.
Yeah.
But he said something about sensing him. And using their bond to figure out where he is.
Okay, let's put our two big brains together here, Brittany.
Let's do it.
If Ark, or he is, not if, he's a, what would you say?
Precog.
Yeah.
Which I don't like that word.
I'm going to say future teller.
He's a fortune teller. He's a psychic.
He's a psychic. Now, I will always, I'll now believe that Auric, he'd known a lot of these things prior, right? Is like, when have him and Xaden interacted by themselves? We don't know, because we see things in Violet's perspective, right? We don't know what Xaden's doing behind his back. My question is like, would Xaden know that by himself, or would he have been told, you know, like, oh, you guys are going to be separated somehow? Or is he just inevitably thinking, I'm Venom, I'm going to learn how to channel, something's going to happen where I'm going to have to leave? That's like a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, I do slightly feel like it was always on his mind that he was like, there is no cure, so I am going to have to go away. Because it's just, he's a sad little boy this entire time, you know.
True.
So I do think he was
That's
like,
true.
realistically, I'm not going to get cured.
Right.
Eventually, I'm going to have to go.
That's so sad.
But could have been, I do believe him and Auric were in talks.
Yeah.
So it could have been maybe Auric confirmed it for him or something. Or, like I said, I don't know how Aric's visions work, or visions, whatever they are. I don't know if they like change on people's opinions.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Auric told him, or if Xaden was like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
That's fair. So I don't know. It's something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, just a quick thought. I don't even have anything to say about this. I just like want to bring it up. I don't know. So Violet mentions that they visited a couple of temples, but the Flyers have been worshiping all day. Do we think this like potentially strengthens their powers because they were so connected to the gods or something?
You know, I don't know. The whole temple thing confuses me, of like where Flyers and the priestesses, like all of that is somehow connected somehow. So I honestly don't know. I couldn't give you an answer.
That's
What do you think?
I was just wondering, because they were like, oh, your temples to like Dune and Malik are way bigger than all the other temples. And they were like, well, we're surrounded by a lot of like war and death, but they like worship all the other gods. So maybe they reward them somehow. Maybe, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll look more into it in the aisles if they say anything. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Also, so this was going back to what Kat said a little bit earlier, and something else had happened that kind of made me spark this question. I'm just a little bit curious about their relationship a little bit more now. Because do we think she was like scared of him, or what? Do we think I don't want to say aggressive. That's kind of crazy. But I wonder what their relationship was, because she brings up again kind of how she's like scared of him and was like, he wasn't that powerful when we were together.
I have a feeling like it might stem from just him always keeping secrets, so maybe tiptoeing around him. Yeah. Or like he would be like, no, you're not going to know that.
I was going to say I think
passive, I guess.
Yeah, like I don't think aggressive is the right word, but I think more like reserved or closed off.
Yeah.
kind of like almost like standoffish.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's also because, I mean, I guess she kind of confessed to being in love with him, but he said he never felt anything towards her other than like a hookup.
Yeah, which also crazy, but real.
Well, he is just a guy.
He's at the end of the day, he's just a guy.
He's a boy.
He's a boy. Hope to know, but I don't know if honestly we're ever gonna find out.
Yeah, I don't think so. But
I do love how this chapter says, at the end of this chapter says, "For better or worse, my fate rests in the hands of Dane Atos." Like, iconic. What a full circle moment we had for Dane.
It truly is. Yeah.
Okay, going into chapter 17. Woot woot. I'm absolutely obsessed with this epilogue, which I'm not going to read it because it's kind of long.
Yeah.
But just this really sweet passage from her dad, and there's like one thing I can say. But I fear my death will fail you, because he's talking about like, I failed Brennan, I failed Mira,
right?
But I fear my death will fail you. And I was like,
yeah,
I don't know, just so obsessed with that. I love hearing from her dad. It's great.
Quickly on Dane, we are experiencing enemies to lovers as the audience with Dane,
and I love that,
and I love it
because we really hated him.
We hated him.
Hated him.
I think this is very clever of Rebecca.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
We're living our own rom-com
because she loves him.
Yeah, she does.
Which is crazy. Just want to say thank God that we got Violet's background of dating, or at least, you know, the one of them out of the two.
Going off of that, I loved the slight background on Brennan as well. Slight, but a little like a breadcrumb.
Yeah, it's nailing. So you can just say it. You guys can just say that. I loved the moment between Auric and Violet when they're like, oh shit, it's Halden. Fuck.
Yeah.
Which is just funny because it's like he knows. Yeah. He knows about that, and that's so cool. Another horny moment for Mr. Professor when he says, knock me out. Okay, to be fair, Violet started this.
She did.
But he goes, knock me out? You're usually the one begging for mercy. A few orgasms. Calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, people are around you. No matter what you're saying in your mind, people are still around. It's weird.
True. Yeah, that was a little crazy.
Garrick and Imogen. How do you say that word?
Supremacy?
Yes, I had a blank.
You wrote it.
I know. I had a blank. I got nervous and didn't know how to pronounce it.
Got it.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
Okay.
Riddick.
Yeah.
Saying, oh gods, just stop flirting and fuck already. I said, yes.
It's about some time somebody said
Thank God. And we didn't get anything really this book. Next book, we got
Garrick's cute little dimple.
And that's it.
In this moment.
That's all we had.
Yeah.
And then my fave quote ever.
Yeah, of course.
I think someone says this.
Riddick.
Garrett's going to blow you off the mat. I don't know who says that part.
Oh, wait. Sorry. You're right.
I think
I think, or something.
Yeah. She says, like, Garrick's going to blow you off the mat. And then Riddick goes, now that I might enjoy, depending on the method he chooses. And my king. I love him. He's crazy. But such a funny moment. Loved it.
It is. Okay, so another really quick odd Xaden moment just for us to ponder. This is another quote. So, Xaden looks at Garrick in a way I've never seen, like his best friend has suddenly morphed into prey, and there's a cold edge in his eyes that prickles the hair at the back of my neck. Dude,
Xaden's really trying to create like ops with his best friends / family.
I'm just like, these moments just seem weird to me where she feels the need to point out that like he looks weird, or like, I don't know, like she's like, it's unfamiliar. It's just interesting to me.
Scary because then she confirms it too with being like, he says like a comment that's like kind of douchey, and she's like, as much as he tries to refuse that he's still like himself, I know he is. Because I'm like, oh, he's contradicting himself all the time.
Exactly. And then lastly, all the Halden shit is crazy. I can't believe that man, he cheated on her with the professor. What happened to the professor? Like, I have a lot of questions.
Like, what was that? How did that breakdown happen?
How she walked in on them
hooking up. Broke her heart.
And then him saying like, yeah, I cheated on you, but like it was because I lost my twin.
I lost my twin.
It's just crazy. I don't know.
Can you blame a guy? Like, dude, crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into our favorite quotes.
Okay.
My first one. I live by you when I live by you when I. Can you go first?
Yeah.
What about I volunteer Brittany to go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
Why can't I read?
You want me to read my chapter 14 one first?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from Xaden, chapter 14, and it says, I am yours and you are mine, and there's no law or rule in this world or the next that will change that.
That's an I love you,
That's
babes.
the same guy that says same. Anyway.
Same dude. Okay, chapter 14, Xaden goes, I live by you. When have I ever given a fuck about the codex or the code of conduct? True.
Oh, sorry. My
You're
other
good.
one is from Xaden, chapter 17, and it's just, bye, Malik. I fucking love you.
I fucking love you. He's got a British accent now.
He's got a British accent.
My last two is, what do you know? Xaden asks, and the band of shadows strokes my inner thigh.
That's crazy.
Ooh. And then my last one is Xaden, also from chapter 15, going, agreed. That's far too casual a term from what we are. Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
I also love it.
Okay, for thriving and theorizing, this is not really a theory. I'm not gonna lie, we're almost to the point where like my theories will start to come into play.
Not just yet.
So this is more of a question for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think we will learn more about Violet's second boyfriend, and will that play a bigger part in the story?
I think now I feel like that second part is kind of shaping my answer. Is if it is a part of the story, it depends on when this boyfriend was it before Halden?
It was after.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was after Halden.
So
Okay,
between Halden and Xaden.
which that could serve a big purpose.
That's true.
Because it's right before she went into the quadrant.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that
just
would be
curious.
crazy.
Or maybe not, but
I would
just want,
hope so.
yeah.
I would hope we learn all about Violet
Yeah.
before the end of the series.
Yeah.
I wake up I'm not lying, in sweats that we're not going to know everything by the end of this
I know,
series.
it's like upsetting.
Like we're 3 books in, bitch.
I know.
Scares
It's
me.
upsetting.
Okay, let's go into Final Jam.
Let's do it.
Oh, fire pick, Brittany.
Thank you.
Please share.
Okay, I put Don't
Oh
Blame
my
Me by
God.
Taylor Swift.
It's such a good song.
I just felt like, I feel like you could really put that in anywhere, but it's kind of giving like Xaden fighting for Violet, being jealous.
made me crazy.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, you ain't doing it right. Yeah, you're right. He would be seeing
Or
that.
like them sparring or something. I don't know.
Love it. Can't wait to see that. And then I just had to bring this up because I'm probably going to bring it up for a couple more episodes. But the Do I Want to Know Hosier cover.
So I had a question on this. Do I Want to Know from the Arctic Monkeys?
Yes, he did a cover.
Fuck.
Have you
I have not heard it, but I love that song. So I'm going to listen to that as soon as we stop this.
I think you might have heard it already on like TikToks because I think I might have sent you a couple edits with it.
Oh.
Crawling back to you. Never thought I'd fall.
Okay, maybe I have, but
You have to listen to the
I
full
have
thing.
to listen to the yeah.
It's beautiful.
Because I already love that song as
Mhm.
is.
Yeah, it's we're gonna listen to it right
Okay.
after.
Deal.
Anyways,
Wow. Well,
look at us. I feel like we
did
did
it.
that pretty fast,
I
even
know.
though it's actually not.
well, we can edit some of this out. So
I'm proud of us. We did it.
yeah. But yeah, that's it for this episode, guys. Next week will be chapters 18, 19, 20, 21 through 21.
Yeah.
So,
So exciting.
yeah, I'm excited for that. We're finally starting to get into some juicy
The meats.
bits.
Just the meats.
Just the meats. We're like Arby's.
Yeah.
We have the meats.
We have the meats. But we thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you guys had a good time. Again, please let us know if you have any theories or anything you want to like add to the rest of these chapters or the books that you want us to bring up. We love reading your guys' comments and seeing what you guys say. So please feel free to share that with us. Y'all can find us, of course, on Instagram, on TikTok. Y'all can email us. And don't forget to check out our merch, Patreon, newsletter, all the fun jazz. Keep up with us, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways,
Thank
we'll
you
see you
so
guys
much
later.
for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you. Mwah. See you later.